Today we have to listen Silavanta Sutta. Silavanta Sutta is a discussion between two chief disciples of the Buddha, Venerable Mahakutika and Venerable Sariputta. Venerable Mahakutika asked Venerable Sariputta, Silavata who saw Sariputta, Bhikkhuna Katame Dhamma Yoni Samanasi Katapa. Friends Sariputta, what are the things that a virtuous bhikkhu, virtuous meditator should carefully attend to? A Venerable Sariputta answer, Silavata who saw Kutika Bhikkhuna, Pinju Pada Nekhanda, Anicca do, Dukkha do, Roga do, Ganda do, Sanla do, Agga do, Abada do, Para do, Paloka do, Sunya do, Anatta do, Yoni Samanasi Katapa. So this answer is in accordance with the Jhana Sutta expounded by the Buddha. So we have to recite the question and answer of Venerable Kutika and Venerable Sariputta. Look at your paper. Follow me. Silavata uso Sariputta Bhikkhuna Katame Dhamma Yoni Samanasika Dabba Silavata uso Sariputta Bhikkhuna Katame Dhamma Yoni Samanasika Dabba. Answer Silavata uso Kutika Bhikkhuna Pinju Pada Nekhanda Anicca do, Dukkha do, Roga do, Ganda do, Sanla do, Agga do, Abada do, Para do, Paloka do, Sunya do, Anatta do, Yoni Samanasika Dabba. Recite together, question answer. Silavata uso Sariputta Bhikkhuna Katame Dhamma Yoni Samanasika Dabba. Answer. Silavata uso Kutika Bhikkhuna Pinju Pada Nekhanda Anicca do, Dukkha do, Roga do, Ganda do, Sanla do, Agga do, Abada do, Para do, Paloka do, Sunya do, Anatta do, Yoni Samanasika Dabba. Translation, follow me. Friends Sariputta, what are the things that a virtuous bhikkhu should carefully attend to? Answer. Friends Kotika, a virtuous bhikkhu should carefully attend to the five aggregates subject to clinging as impermanent, as suffering, as a disease, as tumor, as death, as misery, as affliction, as alien, as dissolution, as empty, as non-self. Translation, question, answer, read together. Friends Sariputta, what are the things? Friend Kutika, a virtue as suffering, as a disease, as death, as misery, as affliction, as alien, as dissolution, as empty, as non-self. So there are 5 aggregates, 5 khandhas. Rupa khandha, metta aggregates, Vedana khandha, feeling aggregates, Sanya khandha, perception aggregate, Sankhara khandha, volitional formation aggregate, Aviññana khandha, consciousness aggregate. When these 5 khandhas are objects of clinging, they are called aggregates of clinging, aggregates subject to clinging, or aggregates objects of clinging. So now you can differentiate khandha and upadana khandha. They are not the same. Upadana khandha means the 5 aggregates of clinging. Khandha means 5 aggregates. So what are the 5 aggregates of clinging? What are the upadana khandha? Number 2, look at your paper. Katame pincha sayadita rupu padana khandha, vedanu padana khandha, sinyu padana khandha, sinkharu padana khandha, viññanu padana khandha. These are 5 upadana khandha. Can you follow me? Katame pincha sayadita rupu padana khandha, vedanu padana khandha, sinyu padana khandha, sinkharu padana khandha, viññanu padana khandha. Again, follow me. Katame pincha sayadita rupu padana khandha, vedanu padana khandha, sinyu padana khandha, sinkharu padana khandha, viññanu padana khandha. Recite together. Katame pincha sayadita rupu padana khandha, vedanu padana khandha, sinyu padana khandha, sinkharu padana khandha, viññanu padana khandha. Again. Katame pincha sayadita rupu padana khandha, vedanu padana khandha, sinyu padana khandha, sinkharu padana khandha, viññanu padana khandha. Translation, follow me. What are the 5 aggregates of clinging? Namely, physical aggregates, subject to clinging, feeling aggregates, subject to clinging, perception aggregate, subject to clinging, mental formation or volitional formation, aggregate, subject to clinging, consciousness aggregate, subject to clinging. So 5 upadana khandha, read together. What are the 5 aggregates of clinging? Namely, physical aggregates, feeling aggregates, subject to clinging, perception aggregates, subject to clinging, mental formation of volitional clinging, consciousness aggregate subject to clinging. So 5 upadana khanda. When we practice meditation, we have to observe only these 5 upadana khanda. Because of this, based on the Jhana Sutta expounded by the Buddha, Venerable Sariputra answer, you have to observe the 5 aggregate subject to clinging as impermanence, suffering, etc. So we can find the 5 aggregates in us. When we see something, there is something to be seen. There is a visible object, and there are eye sensitivity through which the object is seen. And then there is seeing consciousness. Seeing consciousness, flesh. Seeing consciousness arises when the visual object to be seen comes into the avenue of the eye sensitivity, retina. Then seeing consciousness arises. So when we see with that consciousness. So how many aggregates when you see the, the things we see is meta aggregates, rupa, and consciousness aggregates, vijnana. And when we see something, it can be pleasurable, not pleasurable, or neutral. We might think it is a good sight, good view to see this object. Or it is not good to see it. So the feeling is also involved when we see something. And whenever we see an object, the mind or a state of mind makes a mental mark of that object. So it can be recognized when we experience it later. So perception also is involved in the act of seeing. And also if you're really mindful, you can see the flash of mental state that exert to make some effort to see, to bring this seeing consciousness to completion. Though it is very subtle, if very diligent meditators really watch your mind, you will notice that there is a kinds of activities, there's a kinds of exertion in your mind to see, to hear, and so on. Now you have to appreciate your mental state. Your mental state is listen to talk, and you are listening. The kinds of mental activity urging you to listen to talk is mental state. That is sankhara. volitional formation aggregates. So we do not need to look in books to find the 5 aggregates. 5 aggregates are where? 5 aggregates are within us. 5 aggregates of clinging can be found in our own experience, in the experience of seeing. Meditator can find all 5 aggregates. They all are also present in the experience of hearing. Hearing, you really mindful, and you can discover the 5 aggregates: smelling, tasting, touching. In every sense object, you pay attention to these occurrences. And touching, there are many touch sensations in our body, and these touching points can be detected by paying close attention to what is happening at the present moment. Here, a touch includes the feeling of heat, and when we feel cold, that too is also a touch. When you are aware of the rising and falling movements of the abdomen, these movements are touches. And if pressure is felt there, that also is a touch. In touching something, the 5 aggregates can be experienced in the touch. You already know that earth element, air elements, fire elements, and water elements are the 4 great elements, Mahabhuta, forming the basic of all matter, all rupa. If you really pay attention to these phenomena, you can discover these elements. Now, just by watching what is happening at the present moment, you can develop your insight, knowledge, and penetration into the nature of mind and matter. When you make a bodily movement, making a bodily movement begins with the mind's desire to move. Every activity you are watching very closely, then you can discover, you can capture the mind that is desire to move. Sometimes your noting is very accurate, wanting to move, wanting to move. So that desire disappear and you don't move. So you want to move. So that is a desire, that is an intention to move. And what happened? Desire to move, the minute properties of the air or wind elements, material, are produced by this intention to move. So mind is leading. You have intention to move, and then when elements start to be active. When there is the desire to move, your mind produce new particles of the air elements that outnumber the old particles which disappear. So it is very minute. Old particles disappear and, and new particles of air elements arises. Old particle disappear. It is produced by your mind, intention to move. So that increase of the air elements is what we call movement. According to the teaching of Abhidhamma, there is nothing move. How can we understand? We are moving here and there, hand moving, leg moving, head moving. But according to the teaching, Abhidhamma, there is nothing that moves. What seems to be moving is only the increase of the material properties, the particles of air elements caused by desire to move. Every movement, though it seems to be a movement, is not a movement at all, according to Abhidhamma. So how we can understand when you go to a movie, you think that the pictures on the screen are moving, but you know that there are no moving pictures. They are all still pictures projected one after another in sequence. But when we see the screen, the illusion is created in our mind that the pictures are moving. Actually, they are not moving. What is moving is our own imagination. We imagine all of these separate static images to be a flowing continuity, forming a whole, and then we think that the pictures are moving. In the same way, when you move your hand, it is not the hand that move, but the increase of material properties of the air elements caused by the desire to move. This may be seen through your practice of vipassana meditation. When making notes of the rising and falling of the abdomen, you are actually noting the air elements because its function is movement, which is included in the sense of touch. And the air elements is included in the sense of touch. So when you are aware of the movements of the abdomen rising and falling, you are experiencing a kind of touch. In that experience also you can find the five aggregates, metta aggregates, feeling aggregates, perception aggregates, mental formation aggregates, and consciousness aggregates. So actually they can be found in every experience. And be careful, the five aggregates can be clung to by way of the strong craving, tanha, and these five aggregates can be clung to by way of wrong view, tanha and ditthi. That is why they are called aggregates of clinging, aggregates subject to clinging, or aggregates object to clinging. It is these aggregates of clinging that we have to watch and we have to be mindful of in order to get free from suffering. Even when you are thinking of something, the five aggregates are present. When you are thinking, you are not seeing with your eyes. When you are thinking, you are not hearing with your ears. You are thinking with your mind. So when you are thinking, you are seeing something in your mind. When you are thinking, you are hearing something in your mind, and so on. Objects seen or heard in the mind are called past objects. But if they are visible objects or audible objects, they belong to the meta aggregates. Consciousness also must have a base from which to arise. If we do not have eye sensitivity, there will be no seeing consciousness. If we have no ears, there will be no hearing consciousness. And thinking consciousness also needs a seat or a base. So according to Abhidhamma, its base is the Hariya Vutu, heart base, especially the blood in the heart is the base. So with every experience of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and thinking, they are always the five aggregates. If we do not watch them, if we do not apply mindfulness to five aggregates, we will always cling to them, either by strong craving or by wrong view. And because they are objects that can be clung to, we usually cling to them if we are not mindful. So in order not to cling to these five aggregates of clinging, it is clear that we must watch the five aggregates of mind and matter while they are present. We cannot observe them when they are past. Though we may be able to recall some past experience, it will never appear as vividly as it appeared during what was its present moment. So to avoid clinging to these five aggregates, we must watch them when they are evident When they are present, we have to watch them closely. Otherwise, we will always cling to them. So clinging make problems. When there is clinging, it does not stop there. Just with our clinging. Suppose we are attached to something, we want to get it, we want to possess it. Motivated by the desire, we will try to get it, we will try to possess it, we will do something to acquire that object. Some people may steal, some people may take it by force from somebody, or some people may even commit murder just to get what they want. So motivated by clinging, we take up action. In the Paticcasamuppada, it mentioned Upadana Vijaya, Dana Vijaya, Upadana Vijaya Bhava, Bhava Vijaya Jati, etc. Sometimes what we cling to is unwholesome, and sometimes it may be wholesome. Whether wholesome or unwholesome, since they are karmas, they have the potential to give results in the future, and we will get the results of those actions in the future. When there is clinging, there is action, upadana vijaya bhava, bhava vijaya jati. When there is action, kama bhava, there is result of that action in the form of rebirth, jati, in the future life. With rebirth, there is aging, jati vijaya jara marana. With rebirth, there is aging, sickness, death, and so on. So duration of our samsara is prolonged if we are not mindful, if we are not vigilant, if we do not apply mindfulness to what we experience at the present moment. So when seeing objects, see them as objects that arise in this sphere. We have to see the phenomena as they really are, see them as the object, they arise in this sphere. Understand that they are impermanent, they are suffering, and they have no soul, they are not controllable. Then you will not cling to them because you see the true nature arising and disappearing, and they are impermanent, they are suffering, and they have no soul. Then you will not cling to them. When there is no clinging, there can be no karma bhava. When there is no action, there is no karma bhava, and there will be no reaction of a result. That is why it is important to apply mindfulness to whatever experience we are having at the present moment. In order to avoid clinging to them, we must watch them We must make notes of them, and we must be mindful of them when they are present. In the Dhammacakka Sutta, Buddha said, Chatipi dukkha, jarapi dukkha, maranapi dukkha, soka paridewa dukkha, domanasupaya dukkha, apiyehi samyago dukkha, piyehi vipyago dukkha, yampecana labati, tampi dukkha. So 11 dukkha, truth of suffering are jati, etc. 11 types of suffering. 11 types of suffering according to Dhammacakka Bhuttana Sutta. Can you follow me? Birth is suffering, aging is suffering, death is suffering, sorrow is suffering, lamentation is suffering, physical pain is suffering, mental pain is suffering, despair is suffering, association with those one does not like is suffering, separation from those one like is suffering, not to get what one wants is suffering. So 11 dukkha, birth is suffering, aging is suffering, death is suffering, sorrow, lamentation, physical pain, mental pain, grief, and despair, and separation, association with those we do not like is suffering, separation from those we like is suffering, not to get what we want is suffering. 11 dukkha, 11 suffering. These 11 suffering arise. Why? These suffering arise because there are the 5 upadana khanda, 5 aggregates of clinging. These suffering arise dependent on these 5 aggregates. So, in short, Sankitena Pinjupadana Khanda Dukkha, Buddha mentioned, these 5 aggregates of clinging is the truth of suffering. We are aging because of the 5 aggregates. We are dying because of the 5 aggregates. We have sorrow, lamentation, physical pain, mental pain, despair, etc. are dependent on these 5 aggregates of clinging. So the aggregates of material and mental formation, which form the objects of clinging, are called upadana khanda. We all sentient beings exist as such only with these 5 aggregates, forming our substantive mass. We cling to our body. We cling to our body in this way. It is I, it is my body, it is my hand, it is my leg. My body is permanent. So we cling in this way. So the group of material form is called the group of the aggregates of clinging. And the mental state made up of the consciousness and mental concomitants are also grasped at. We take them to be, this is my mind, it is I who thinking, my mind is permanent, etc. So the mental states are also known as aggregates of grasping, aggregates of clinging. It is how we cling, we attach on the aggregates of mind and matter as a whole. So we need to consider each separate phenomena in detail. This upadana khanda is conspicuous, obvious, every time we see an object. As soon as we wake up, we see something. So upadana khanda is prominent on every occasion of our hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, imagining, thinking. At the moment of seeing, what are conspicuous? Seeing eyes, the object of sight, the consciousness of seeing are quite obvious. So in this consciousness of seeing are comprised pleasant or unpleasant feeling, perception, and making effort and bending the mind to accomplish the act of seeing, and the knowledge that an object is just seen. If we do not practice mindfulness meditation, or those meditator practicing insight meditation who have not yet advanced to the stage of appreciating the nature of impermanent suffering and non-self, they remain attached to the eye, the object of sight, etc. So these people regard the clear eyesight as this is my eyes, this eye is permanent. So when they see their body and limbs, attachment arise. I see my own body, this is my hand, it exists permanently. Because vipassana insight knowledge not yet developed, they cannot distinguish eyes, sight, seeing consciousness. They cannot separate these phenomena. So when they see other people, they appear as a person. The person is enduring, the person is lasting. They see in this way. Because of such arousals or attachment to them, material form of eye sensitivity, retina, and the object are called Rupa Upadana Khanda. Now you can discover one Upadana Khanda, eye sensitivity, and eye sensitivity. And then feeling, in addition to pleasant feeling or unpleasant feeling, there is also neutral feeling. What is concerned with wholesome neutral feeling is included in pleasant feeling. What is concerned with unwholesome neutral feeling is included in unpleasant feeling. So both pleasant and unpleasant feeling give rise to attachment. Who feeling? It is I. It is my feeling, pleasurable. That feeling is everlasting. I feel well. I feel not feeling well. I feel terrible. They cling to this way. So this cause their attachment, causing attachment in this way, pleasant or unpleasant or neutral feeling is called Vedanupadanikkanda. So on perceiving an object, attachment arises in this way. I recognize the fruits. I don't forget it. I don't forget that person. So it is termed the grasping group of perception, aggregates of perception. That is Sinupadanekanda. Sinya is you recognize, you forget, you don't forget. And there is exercise of the will to see an object, that is Chetana, volition. It is termed incitement, exhortation, or urging. The whole day you can discover the kinds of urging. Get up, go to the restroom, clean your body, go to the meditation hall, sitting properly, going to the breakfast, lunch, the whole day. You are moving continuously. Who asked you? Chetana volition is urging you, go there, sit there, walk there. That is Sinkarakanda. But will of volition express its meaning quite clearly. There are 50 mental states in Sinkarakanda. 50 mental states are collectively called Sinkarakanda. Manasikara, which go along with Chetana, is pondering or bending your mind towards an object. In 15 mental state, there is phassa contact which comes into play, but Chetana and Manasikara are the predominating factors. So in Sinkarakanda, we mention only the two, Chetana and Manasikara. There is attachment towards them too, and it is I am going, I'm sitting, I'm looking, I'm chewing, I am enduring. So these two mental concomitants of willing and bending the mind involved in the act of seeing is called Sinkarupadanikkanda. But Sankara is meant conditioning. In the case of seeing, it means bringing about condition to accomplish the act of seeing. The last one is Vinyanupadanekanda. Just knowing an object is seen is seeing consciousness. Also, seeing consciousness is also attached to as I see, I know. The seeing eye is everlasting. Because of the possibility of such attachment, consciousness, Vijnana, is called Vinyanupadanekanda. So 5 aggregates of clinging, 5 upadanekanda. When you pay attention to what is seeing, you will see, you can discover the 5 aggregates. So look at your paper, page number, at the moment of seeing, page number 1, number 3. Number 3, at the moments of seeing. Follow me. At the moments of seeing, the eye sensitivity and the objects of sight Arupupadanekanda. Feeling pleasant or unpleasant or seeing is Vedanupadanekanda. Recognizing or remembering the visible object, Sinupadanekanda. Exercising the will to see and turn the attention on the visible object is Sankarupadanekanda. Just knowing that an object has been seen is Vinyanupadanekanda. Read together. At the moments of seeing, the eye of sight are Rupupadanekanda. Feeling pleasant or unpleasant of seeing is Vedanupadanekanda. Recognizing or remembering the object of Sinupadanekanda. Exercising the way to see and turn the attention on the visible object is just knowing that an object has been seen. Vinyanupadanekanda. One more. At the moments of seeing, the eye and object of sight are Rupupadanekanda. Exercising the way to see and turn the attention on the object is Sankarupadanekanda. So these phenomena are just flesh, and then you need to capture at the moment of seeing. The moment is flesh, the moment you need to catch. All these phenomena arise and pass away very quickly, and these phenomena do not last even for the twinkling of an eye. At the flesh moment, you need to be aware, you need to capture that they come and go, and there is really no I involved. There is no such person exists. Only a succession on one new flash of seeing after another. So this is the first Upadanekanda at the moment of seeing. Hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, knowing. We will continue tomorrow. We have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing Vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, may you discover the five aggregates of clinging properly. May you realize Nirvana. May you realize the real peace in the very near future.